Now, the classic thing that's come back recently, and there's a lot of people on the fence with the mighty snare roll and using that as a build up in the track. I think it depends how it's done. I think, you know, it depends on what else is going on in the track. Sometimes it can just be complete overkill. Other times it can be quite effective. So I'm going to give it a go in this one and we'll see how it sounds. Now, I'm going to use the 909 snare from the actual box itself because it's got a nice, if I hit it at low velocity, it has a completely different sound. Not just volume, but it makes a different sound to what it does when it's at full velocity. So I'm just going to record. So I just recorded in a bar there. Going to quantize those. I'll just do them straight for the moment. And then just copy these over. So when doing a snare roll like this, rather than using volume, I use the note velocity. It's purely because when you're doing that from the 909, you get a different sound. The softer velocity note isn't like the loud velocity quiet, if that makes sense. You should be able to hear what I mean. It's to do with the way the snare drum's made, because it's made with a tone and a noise, like white noise as well, from a noise generator. So what you do anyway, I've just recorded that in. Is dragged that up there at the bottom on the piano roll, and it gives you this. So make sure that you're on note velocity, if I do that, then you can see that's my velocities that I played in by hand. Now literally it's this easy to do. Just grab the pencil tool and click and drag, obviously, and there you go. So now the thing is with the note velocity on the 909 is the lowest point isn't actually the lowest point on this scale here. So you need to kind of do the first one. Yeah, that's probably about right. I might go a little bit lower. So I'm going to start it from there and just redo it. And you can hear the velocity changing. If I take the loop off, we can hear what it would be like going into the drums kind of dropping in. There. Now, some people might argue you could just do that with one snare note and do it with the volume, but I promise you that if you've got the real piece of kit, that's the character that you get from it. And if you're gonna have that real piece of kit, you want that piece of character in the music as well. So that's why I tend to do it this way. And obviously there's a lot of controls on the unit itself. There's pitch, there's the length as well. I mean, something I do sometimes is open up the length, the decay on the end of the section, so it kind of gives a bit more of an impact. But I won't mess around with that too much today. We'll kind of rely on what we've got here. So let's just go back and listen to it again. Okay, so you'll hear the tone that's in there. And you can see on the EQ, it's actually giving us quite a bit of low end. So what I tend to do is roll a bit of it off. So you're not getting too much of that tone. I mean, obviously you can roll too much off there. So you want a bit in there, but not too much. And then you can start looking at EQing around here. So what I'm going to do is play the last couple of bars to do this. And you can pick out, just by messing around again with the EQ, you can pick out some really nice frequencies, and obviously tighten those up as well if you want to. So I like to kind of find something around there, sort of mid top, 1 to 2K, just to give it a bit more character. Now this way you can actually bring the volume down as well, so it's not so overpowering and like a 90s trance record or whatever. It's actually got a little bit more integrity to it, a little bit of class maybe. Let's have a little listen. There we go. So that's still coming from the piece of hardware. Okay, so that's that. So now we're going to add audio track. Number 5 is the input, and do the same as we did earlier on. But I'm actually going to make sure that the loop is longer than the section I'm capturing, and that's to do with any kind of, because we've got a note right at the end of the bar here in the last 16th. There may be some of the sound, the white noise or whatever that will go over into the next bar, So let's just do that. Again, you can see how analog it is, because every snare that's coming up there looks different. Okay, there we go. I'm actually going to do another one as well that's longer in case we need it later on in the track. So let's just make a longer version of that. And I have to do the velocity again as well. So let's glue those together. So if I zoom out, and we've already got the lowest point set for the velocity for that particular machine, so that's all good. And then, oops, I haven't done that very well. There you go. We don't need to listen to it this time. But again, I've left the extra on the end there, the section. So let's just bounce that in. I might actually do the decay on the end of this one actually, so I'm just going to jump up and do that.